Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do something different this time. Um, I guess to scrape the bottom of the barrel. I suppose this you could consider this a reaction video. But I'm gonna be reacting to something that I've wanted to react to for a long time. Specifically, um, it's related to the Times, to the New York Times. I guess Time Magazine's top 100. Oh, I have it here brought up in the page. There's a few. Well, the one with the main rankings is right here. Okay, so let's read real fast. It's called the 100, the ranking of the most influential persons in history. A book from 1978, published by whatever white nationalist author Michael H. Hart. Okay, I did not expect that. His main idea was to specifically rank people according to their influentialness. So obviously, this is prior to social media age with all this BS virality or fake virality. 15 minutes of fame stuff. This is talking about real people who have affected history the most in whatever and in their life or post mortem. They had the biggest impact. Again, unlike other various is reading unlike other various rankings, Hart was not attempting to rank on greatness as a criterion, but rather whose actions changed more the course of human history. So that's the premise of the list. So we could go down. We'll go down. Here's the thing. The author. Blah blah blah. Notable omissions include Abraham Lincoln, Vladimir Lenin, Mao Zedong, Shakespeare, Niels Bohr, Pablo Picasso, Ernest Rutherford. Yeah, that's a big one. Just the Rutherford atom in the beginning of what he started, and just take a look at his. If you want, I can Google his students, and it's the luckiest bookers in the world were the ones that got to study with Rutherford, and I suppose Niels Bohr as well. I guess it was pretty good. Okay, so let's look at this list. Here's the Hearts top 10 from the 92 edition. We can go backwards, although you already see. We'll talk about the reception later. Going backwards, he starts 10 Einstein, Albert Einstein. 9 Christopher Columbus. 8 Johannes Gutenberg, which here and it says explorer for Columbus, scientist for Einstein. Gutenberg, of course, the Gutenberg Press. I believe the most valuable book in the world is the Gutenberg. If you can get your hands on a original Gutenberg Bible, I believe that's like the most in your hands, the most valuable book in the world. I forgot how many dozens of millions of dollars you'll get on the spot for a Gutenberg Bible. Okay, whatever. Anyway, this is not about that. Kailun, I'm not sure very well who that is. You know, according to this inventor of paper, which is obviously a big deal, but just inventing paper to me, yeah, okay, obviously had a huge impact on society, but even prior to the discovery of paper, the Egyptians had hieroglyphics, and the Babylonians, this is all they were doing base 60, were carving Pythagorean triples into clay mortar tablets. What I'm saying is the most important part is the knowledge. Okay, 7, 6. He has Paul the Apostle again, whatever Paul the Apostle, Christian apostles, but their description. 5 Confucius. Now because fucking damn near I forgot 1 point however many billion Chinese people there is, Confucianism and his teachings. A lot of them are very good. I've read them myself, but it's mostly because again there's so many Chinese people that his impact is so far reaching, I guess. Um it's a lot of it is very good. Not to take away actually anything, but But another thing, I suppose, revolutionary. Most of it is common sense stuff. I believe he says something like the golden rule. So it's what the Chinese culture considers manners, what they consider manners, and but then you keep reading more because there's a lot of it is a lot of wisdom, blah blah blah. That was five. Number four, Gautama Buddha, of course, in BC. I should have said the dates as well. This is 500 BC. Spiritual leader. Now I myself got into Buddhism a lot. Around the age of 15. Son, I had a I had a freaking this original. It was made of thread of a gigantic. It was bigger than the wall of the Buddha meditating. I had this big frame slash painting, although it was made out of thread of the Buddha meditating, whatever stuff. And I think I even when they gave it to me, I even carried it home. I was like, "There's no way I'm letting this go." I was big into Buddhism, but a lot of it's still very good. But of course, you guys know, especially the type of channel this is, where I'm mostly going here. Three, they have Jesus as a spiritual leader for obvious reasons. Number two, they have Isaac Newton. All right, Isaac Newton is, according to this list, the number two most influential human, most influential person in human history. Again, only, I mean, of course, Newton, the scientist, natural philosopher, he was a key figure in the scientific revolution. And I mean, it's crazy about how Newton's predictions of the comets led. I mean, once they figured that out and Newton's laws, everybody figured out Newton. I mean, even in France, even the continent, Voltaire was a champion of Newton. A lot of people were. Simone, Pierre Laplace, whatever. I mean, this was the very beginning of the Enlightenment, which is, you know, the biggest step forward. This is how in 200 years we've gone from little baby steam engines to rovers on Mars. Started with the Enlightenment and the scientific revolution, and is all traced back to Newton. And again, they have Newton number two, and again, a number, I guess, of population size. Because number one, they have Muhammad as a spiritual and political leader, 500 BCE. Muhammad. Now, are you crazy? I don't care how many Muslims there are, really. Muhammad did not, and I've looked at the websites where they use the Quran to try to quote unquote predict the speed of light and all this stuff. Um, no, bro, it's not. It's a bunch of. I don't want to get Christopher Hitchens with it, but again, of course, Einstein is number 10, should be way higher. A lot of these people would shouldn't even be on the list. Of course, Newton should be number one, and then maybe include some spiritual leaders. But there's Plato and Aristotle, and thank the Persians for translating and bringing it to medieval Europe. Johannes Gutenberg, okay, the Gutenberg press, big deal. But again, number one is Newton, however you want to count. Number one is Newton. You want to put a second, I don't know, maybe Einstein, but then I'd be listing the top scientists, I guess. Um, yeah, whatever. Here's a summary of the book, and he tries to talk about whatever, whatever. Okay, his emissions and whatever reasons he used to put the Islamic prophet Muhammad and blah blah blah. But of course, again, Newton's number one. Einstein's way higher. Gutenberg, decent. Put some philosophers in there, obviously. I mean, Jesus, this is a lot. You can even make an argument for Marx. You could make an argument. It's too many people. You can make an argument for, I don't know, John Stuart Mill, for a lot of people. All the people who, again, spurred on the Enlightenment and scientific revolution, mainly, that led to humanism and atheism and all the great things we have today. Paul the Apostle, please get on my. I mean, obviously, nowhere near this list should he be there. Again, the only one I give slight pass is the Buddha, and this is because the Buddha, I mean, in contrast to all other religions claim to have the answer, right? The answer is in this book, or the answer is in the prayers, or the meditations, or whatever you do daily, or the answer is somewhere. Buddhism, this is why I was so attracted to it early on in my life, was because Buddhism was the only one that literally said, you're not going to find the answer in no church, no mosque, no synagogue, no holy book, no anywhere else, nowhere outside. To look, the answer, you must look inside. That's, if you're going to expect to find any answer anywhere, you're only going to find it inside. Believe me, you're not going to, people, I don't care how ignorant or how many people thought before that you can find it in the Bible, but no. If God existed, He would not make it so unfair that you would need to. So exactly, how unfair would it be for the people of India that God chose the illiterate peasants in the Semite and the Levant to give His holy revelation and bring His only one begotten child, or blah blah blah, and Indians never heard of that, and so this is a point people have raised. So what? They're automatically screwed just because they were born in the wrong place? No God worth respecting or worth praying to, whatever, do something like that. So this is why whatever answers there are will not come from any holy book or any regional anything. They must come from within. If you're stuck on an island and are seeking salvation, the only if the universe or God or anything is fair at all, you must be able to find that salvation even stuck on an island. Now, obviously, you're not gonna find it in no tree. You're not gonna find the book. You're gonna have to look in yourself, meditate, do what you gotta do. But the answer, or those answers, those personal spiritual answers, are in yourself. Of course, there's science. For that, you look up. Hopefully, you build a telescope. Okay, but so again, I would put Newman. So I'll put a lot. Yeah. So Buddha might be the only one that gets a pass. Other than that, dude, I'll put Plato. I'll put, I don't know. Okay, Immanuel Kant. I'll put a lot more people way before Muhammad or Jesus or something. They almost got it right with Isaac Newton at number 2, but Newton should have been number 1 by a landslide. It's unfathomable how much Newton should, and his humbleness, standing on the shoulders of giants. He was the tallest giant of them all. This man discovered the laws of motion, universal law of gravitation, did it all, well, invented calculus or discovered calculus, all to be able to justify this stuff, but was not even doing calculus the easy way like we do it today, but he's doing calculus using Euclidean geometry. So there's billions of tangent lines everywhere and all this. I mean, incredibly difficult to read and just incomprehensible almost. But he's doing calculus using only plain geometry, because at the time he just invented it. Nobody knew calculus. So at the time, the only thing people could read is geometry. So he had to do everything using geometry. Of course, later on, people learned some calculus and could simplify many of the arguments. All right, bro. This video is way too long. I'll end it here. Neo number one by a landslide. I mentioned about the rationality he. Well, I tried way earlier. The rationality that he brought to the universe almost directly led. So because this is Newton was 1643 to 1727, bro. In that time, people were still burning witches in the town square for whatever people were still that crazy, like believed in magic. And if you're a farmer and your crops failed, you thought maybe it was your neighbor doing some voodoo magic, okay? Or yeah, there was actual witches, and everybody knows they would tie them up and throw them in a lake, and if they sink, they were not a witch, but they die. Or if they manage to get out, then they are a witch, and they would kill her as soon as she got up. Okay, that's how ignorant people, especially the uneducated and all the peasantry and okay, Newton's rationality and all that stuff. And I somewhere else I tell a story of Haley's comet, how that was the greatest prediction of all time, only using Newton's laws. And Edmund Haley did, of course. Newton's laws and the rationality I said almost led in a large part directly to the ending of the burning of witches. People stopped burning witches and stopped thinking all this voodoo your neighbors were casting voodoo spells on you, and like Newton and the scientific revolution and all the enlightenment, of course. But it's exactly that was a huge leap forward for humanity. That we're not believing in this magic. How Einstein said, the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it's comprehensible at all. Exactly that. The fact that it worked and people could stop thinking about magic and witches or whatever. Oh, that was a huge leap forward. And man, you barely hear that story, and Ewan gets a lot of that credit. But again, the video's too long, so I'll see you guys in the next one. We'll see how this one comes out. Till next time. Yeah. Peace out, brothers.